Hi guys, welcome to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Jennifer Nxumalo. I do hope that you enjoy it here, such that you end up clicking that red subscribe button. And that is if, as I said, that is if you enjoy it here. And also, if you like this video or the content that I serve on this channel, please don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up because it does help to support my channel and I will also appreciate it. So on today's video, we're going to be talking about my cash budgeting system that I'm going to be adopting from this month going forward until further notice. So I figured before I actually take the time to sit down and actually cash stuff, the envelopes, let me first break it down to you guys and just talk to you guys my thought process behind this and how I'm going to be implementing it, because I've seen a lot of videos, I've watched a lot of videos which are good and I really love it, but I'm going to put a twist on it. I'm going to put my own spin on it just to make sure that it accommodates my lifestyle and what I need from it. So maybe for someone who is not familiar with this, cash stuffing system is basically a budgeting system. So instead of you using your card when you go to the shops and paying with your card, you actually allocate money into these envelopes based on your budget. So as you know that I set a budget every month. So what people will normally do is they would withdraw the cash, all the cash that they need, or basically all of their salary, and then they will then allocate it on an envelope, on each and every envelope as per the category according to the budget. Now, I'm not explaining this based on the definition that is out there. I did not even check the definition, but based on what I've seen people doing and also my understanding behind it, that is what I could gather. That instead of using your card at the shops, you are actually using cash, and the cash that you are using is actually the cash that you allocated for that specific category. So let's say, for instance, you go to the shops and you're going to buy groceries. So you are not going to use your card. Instead, you're going to reach out for the envelope that is written groceries, and you're going to use that money in there to actually buy groceries. Now, the reason why people do this, or the reason why this is done, is so that you are able to stick to your budget. So if you're a person that struggles to stick to your budget, you find that you spend willy-nilly and you are really struggling and it's very hard for you to track your spending and you want to get that in control, a cash budgeting system is one of the tools. And that is what sold me on the system and actually inspired me that, okay, this is something that could work for me. Now, what was my thought process for me to actually even come to this point? Now, you guys, that I actually implemented the weekly allowance on my budget. So instead of actually saying I allocate everything on categories and then I buy groceries once a month, because that's what I used to do sometime last year. And what I realized over the time is that every time when I would buy groceries like that, where we will go once in a month in the shops and we'll buy everything that we think we're going to need in the month, we found that halfway through the month we were running out of many things. Like, you find that the fridge would be empty. The downside of that is that as the fridge was empty and the things were finishing, is that the money was not there for actually replenishing. And so I would have to reach for my credit card or ask my partner to give us more money because we've run out of money, we've run out of food. Over time, I realized that wasn't working. And then I watched Nicolette Mashile's video and she was talking about weekly allowances, that instead of buying groceries once a month, you need to actually allocate money for your living expenses for each and every week, so that you do not run out of money, so that you are not actually, after you've gotten paid and you've done all these things, 5 days after or 10 days after you've gotten paid, you are scrambling and you are really struggling to get to the end of the month. And so I started implementing the weekly allowance method in my budget, and it has been working wonders, because one thing I've been enjoying is knowing that each and every week I have an allocation. However, then the problem came in when I could not track my spending. So yes, I had allocations that, okay, in this week, this is how much I'm going to use. In this week, this is how much I'm going to use this week, that week. I was using my card, and I would find that sometimes I would even use this money on things that I'm not supposed to be using for these things, or the money would run out and I wouldn't understand what is happening. There are just things that were just not adding up. The math was not mathing, and it really bothered me. And so I really had to actually make change. And I watched some videos in December and I watched a cash stuffing, and let me just tell you who inspired me, because There are a lot of cash stuffing videos on YouTube. However, there was just this one girl who I follow, who I'm subscribed to her channel, that really inspired me, and that is Zoe Pritchard, I think. This is Zoe Pritchard. So she actually inspired me to actually think about the cash system. I loved how she implemented it, how she incorporated it in her finances, and I figured I can also do it. And so this is where we are today. That is why I've actually implemented it. So how I'm going to be doing it differently from what I've seen online is that I'm not going to be withdrawing every money in order to to stuff my envelopes. I'm not going to be doing that. Firstly, because many of my things actually deduct on my card, which I love. The challenge becomes when I have to actively pay for things with my card. So let's say, for instance, I'm at the shop. I have to pay with my card. How do I then in my card categorize all this money so that it's very specific that this is money for this, this is money for this? It is very difficult. And so you find that you're always, let's say for instance, I'm at the shops and then I want to buy. Now I have to transfer money quickly from this place to this place so that I can be able to use my card. And that's where the danger comes in, whereby sometimes you even transfer the wrong money or you take from the wrong bag to try and buy this. And so that had to change. So I like the cash stuffing method because what you do is the money that you put in there. So if I say week 1, this is how much I'm going to be putting, I need to actually use only that money. This actually helps you to actually stay within budget, to control your spending, but more than anything, to track your spending, to see what are you actually really spending on. The things that I'm going to be focusing on is actually going to be my weekly allocation, is going to be the petrol, it's also going to be my transport money and my fund. And then if I decide to actually have a sinking fund somewhere there, maybe like a small sinking fund, especially for like December, then I'm actually going to actually do that, because right now, the reason why I'm saying if I decide to have a sinking fund for December, I'm going to have it there, is because right now on my budgets, I do not have an allocation for Christmas. I do not have an allocation for December. So what I'm going to be doing, if I'm going to be saving money towards that, chances are I'm going to be taking from my savings. So let's say, for instance, in a month, I actually saved 100 rands under my weekly allocation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that 100 rands and put it under my sinking fund for Christmas, instead of actually on my budget allocating for it. The reason why I can't allocate for it is because there's just so much that I have to do and I don't want to split myself too thin. However, if I do see that in a month, let's say for instance, I see that, okay, I have 200 rands that I just have, maybe I saved it from somewhere. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take that 200 rands and allocate it towards that particular sinking fund that I decide to save it for in that month. So that is my thought process regarding the sinking fund that I'm going to be keeping in my cash stuffing. And then if it reaches a certain amount, then I'm going to deposit it so that it's within my account. But for now, we will keep it there. One of the challenges that I can expect is crime. So we know that in South Africa, crime is very high. And so you always have to be wary of crime. Whenever you are doing things, planning your life, you literally have to think about crime, whether you like it or not. And so what I'm not going to be doing is to carry all my envelopes in my wallet, because that is not safe. So things that I'm not going to be needing in that week or in that day, they're going to stay at home. And then the money that I know that I might reach out to for spending, then it's what I'm going to be carrying to work. I live in Pretoria. I haven't had any issues with crime. However, you may never know. So I need to stay safe and be diligent. So that part I'm very much clued up about, and I know what I'm going to be doing to make sure that I protect myself and my money. And then another thing that may be a challenge here is charges. Now, I know that we have high charges in South Africa, and that's because banks are trying to push people to actually use their cards more. However, if you use their cards more, that's also another thing that we guys need to think about. Everything that the banks do, they're not doing it most of the time for you, they're doing it for themselves. So the more that you use your card, they know that the cashless system works. It works wonders for them. When you have a credit card, it is so easy for you to go to the shop and run short of money and you reach for your credit card. You just tap it in there because there's always money available and it's easy. And so banks are trying to push for everyone to actually use cards and avoid cash, which makes sense, by actually charging more on cash and actually less on cards, which is fine. It's fine. It works for us. We love it. We love it. However, you also need to be wary of that the more, for me, I know my personality. The more that I'm able to use my card freely anyway, easily, that actually is the more that I spend. It might not be the more that I'm charged, but it's the more that I spend in a month-to-month basis. And so the point here with me is to try and control my spending. It is not to try and decrease the charges. That is not the goal. We'll figure out the way around the charges, but when it comes to the spending, the first part is controlling my spending. And so for charges, one thing that I've thought about is, okay, I'm going to withdraw either on the ATM, which I know people are going to say that is very high. The charges, they are very high. It's not. I'm going to tell you that it's not. Depending on your bank and how much you're withdrawing, then it's going to be high, but it's not. And you can also withdraw at the cashiers, at the tills. However, I don't want to withdraw a lot at the till because as much as it is very convenient and it's less of charges, you don't want to be coming to the till and say, can you give me a cashback of 4,000? I just feel like this just, even though they don't mind it sometimes, some they do mind, but I just feel like you're just asking for too much. So normally when I go to the till and I ask for cashback, it's an amount that is less than 1,000 or 1,500, but more than that, no. And so I figured, okay, depending on my situation or where I am at that point, I'm going to do a cashback either on the ATM or I'll do the withdrawal either on the ATM or I'll do it on the tills. Now, I track this because I just want to make sure that no one is coming for me on the comment section or telling me, you're going to get charged a lot. No, because I think about these things ahead. When you're watching videos and you may not think that someone is thinking about all these things, but some people actually do think. I think a lot. So when I was withdrawing the money yesterday, I withdrew 3,900 from the ATM. Capitec ATM. Now, if I had withdrawn from another bank that I'm not banking with, it was going to be more. But I withdraw that 3,900 and 3,900 and I was charged 32 rands. I checked. I went back to when I was in the office. I went back to my app and I said, okay, I was withdrawing this. How much did I get charged? 32 rands. 32 rands is actually not bad at all. Why? And the reason why I'm saying that is because from now going forward, I'm not going to be using my card. I'm done using my card. The only thing that are going to be going off now is going to be debit orders. And those, obviously, they were charging, whether I was using cash or card, they were charging. However, whenever I was making purchases, whenever I was buying something, whenever I was moving some money immediate, because now I need to pay for things at the ATM quickly, whenever I was moving monies and I was doing this immediate, it will charge me 7 rands. It will charge me 7 rands every time, charge me 7 rands. Sometimes it will be less than that if it's not immediate, but it's still charging me. When you add all of those monies up, I can tell you that it was more than 50 rands. And so right now, I withdraw all the money that I need, all the money that is for these categories, all of it. I withdrew all of it and left only the money that has to go out for debit orders. That is what I did. And now I know that when it comes to charges, the only thing that I'm going to be getting charged for is just my monthly charges. And then I'm going to be getting charged for the debit orders, which are like 1 rand. I think it's like 1 rand, or less than that. I don't know, but I think it's around 1 rand. So 32 rands for me right now is not bad. I actually don't mind that. I don't mind that. If it was, let's say, for instance, 70 rands, I was going to be worried and I was going to actually figure out another strategy. Like maybe I was going to go with the route of withdrawing at the till, but after I withdraw that much and I realized it's only 32 rands, I was like, Jen, it's fine. And as I said, it's not like I'm going to be withdrawing above 5,000, 6,000, you know. I'm not going to be withdrawing exorbitant amounts because the monies that I need, it's not a lot. So I withdrew 3,900 and I got charged 32 rands. So I just wanted to give you a picture of the charges. So those are the things that I wanted to touch on for anyone that may be having questions on that, or maybe having second thoughts on that, like how are you going to manage this, all the stuff. I've already thought about that, and I've already, put in measures, and I know that I'm going to be fine. If I feel that, okay, this is becoming too much, one of them being charges, if I feel that it's becoming too much, I'm going to go the route of the cashiers. But for now, it worked for this month. We'll see next month. Maybe I may withdraw at the till. We'll see how I do it. So I think I've spoken too much here. So let us go into the office, which is also my daughter's bedroom. Let us go in there and actually stuff these envelopes. And then I think that will be it for this video. Let us go. So this is the binder that I got. I bought this at Shein. So when I saw this cash stuffing method and I saw the binders, how beautiful they were and just how practical they are, I figured let me get myself one. And the reason why I have my journal here, let's just go through it, is because I want us to look at my budget, because you are supposed to allocate money based on what you actually put in your budget that you are going to be giving for that particular item. There's something on my budget that I haven't used, on my journal that I haven't used, and that's this thing. Let's use that now. Use that. Okay, so this is my budget, and we're going to focus here. Let me just show you. We are going to be focusing here on the notes. I actually added everything up and say, okay, this is the amount that I need to withdraw, and it's 3,900, and that's the amount that I actually went and withdraw. And then here I wrote here with red because I wanted to remind myself how much I got charged. As I said, I checked on my bank statement, on my app, how much I got charged. So first thing, we're going to be setting up my envelope, and then we're also going to be stuffing the money. So what this thing comes in, it comes in with these notes things. So if you have anything that you want to write, maybe note quickly, you use these. And then it also comes with dividers, which I don't think that I'm going to be using, so I'm just going to put that aside. And then it comes with the budget sheet. So let me just, sometimes I don't know how this thing opens, guys. I'm still learning. It comes with these sheets. It's a lot of sheets. You can see it's not just one. So for each and every envelope, you are going to allocate a sheet for it. So this is where you are going to be keeping track of your spending. So you write here the date, you write the description. So what is it? So is it the money that you just added, or is it the money that you just spend, whatever that you just spend on, and then plus or minus. If you are adding, you're going to just put plus, so plus that amount. So right now, as I'm going to be stuffing, I'm going to be saying plus an amount, and then I'm going to write a balance. And then every time as you're spending, you just have to update the balance. So that is what these sheets are for. So we're going to put these aside, and then we have our envelopes here. We have our envelopes, and I've already set up mine because I'm like that. So I have week 1 for my weekly allocation. Let me just put it like this. So for my weekly allocation, I've got week 1, week 2, I've got week 3, and then I've got week 4. So this is all for my weekly allocation, and I wanted to have each and every envelope for each one so that I don't get confused. And then I've got an envelope for petrol, I've got an envelope for the bus, and I've got an envelope for me, for school, and December fund. As I said, for December fund, it's money that I'm going to be putting aside if I see that I saved any monies from here end of the month that I feel the need that I can actually put it in there. Let's set this thing up. So let's start with this one. Another thing before we get into putting in the money, I want to actually come in here on my wallet and take out the cards that I know that I actually need whenever I'm buying at the shops for cashback and all the stuff. I'm not gonna put my bank cards here. I'm going to be putting the cashback cards. So one of them is the extra savings from Checkers. Another one is the Smart Shopper one from Pick n Pay. Another one is the Clicks Club card. And then I'm just looking for the Woolworths one. There we go. So now we are left with my other cards and then my bank cards. So I don't need that because, so for my cash wallet, I'm going to be using it when I'm going to the shops, or when I'm going to work. I'm going to take it with me. I'm still going to take my wallet with me. I will see if I do need to take it, but I will see. I actually even have a pocket here, so I can even put my ID in here such that I don't have to reach for my wallet. So let me just slide in my cards. And now let us get into stuffing these envelopes. So the first one, we are going to start with week 1. So currently we are going to be doing only 2 weeks because that's the allocation based off the budget. Let me just push this here. Based on the budget, the allocation that I put here, the money that is going to come from my earning or from my salary is 2,000. So what are we going to do is we're going to split that 2,000 into 1,000 each for each week. So let us count. 1, I don't like that this notes are like this. It must be in the same direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's for week 1. So I'm going to actually stuff it in here. Okay, week 1 done, and then week 2. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's just verify that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's 1,000. Upumadiba. There we go. Okay, so we are done for our weekly allocation for now. So we still have week 3, and then we still have to stuff week 4. However, for these 2 weeks, the money is the one that we get from my partner, and it's the one that we get from my partner. So once we have that, we are going to stuff it. But for now, the way that I write my budget here on the weekly allocation, let me just show you closely. So the way that I write it here, if you can see, week 1 is from the 15th until the 21st of January. So that's when I'm supposed to spend this money. Week 2 is 22 until the 28th. And then let's get into petrol. Petrol is getting 800 rands. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't like how this money is looking. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Where is Madiba? Like, honestly. Then let's get to the bus. Bus is getting 500 rands for this month. So what I normally do when I'm putting money in the bus, I don't put the entire money for the month, because the bus system that I use, they like to go on strikes a lot. So I just protect myself by not putting all the money in there, just in case they go on strike that month. I still have cash, because I don't want to tie my money into the card, into the bus card. So what I do is I only put per week. So per week, maybe I'll put 100 rands, and then the following week I'll put another 100 rands, and so on and so on. So I've already loaded for last week, and we'll see how far that takes me. And then when I see that I need to load again, then I'm going to load. So let's see, 500, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is for the bus. That is actually very exciting. It's very, very exciting. I love seeing cash. Okay, and then me, I am getting 500 rands. So, oh, where is this coming from? This is a very old note. Okay, I'm gonna have to put this on the notes that I have to use quickly. I don't like the old notes. Okay, let's put it on my money. It's fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let me just put it here so that I remember to use it. I need to use it. I don't like old notes at all. Just don't like them. Especially because if there are new notes, then why still use the old notes, you know? So me, I get 500 rands, and then that's done. Then we go to school for my daughter. She gets 100 rands, because we have to actually pay 80 rands per term, and then the rest that will be left, it will just be left here. I'll just top up next month. So for school, she gets the last note, which is 100 rands, and I'm just gonna put it in here. And for buying at the tuck shop and so on, I don't really want to encourage that, because I was looking at the price list for tuck shop in her school and it's ridiculous. So I don't want to encourage that. So that's why I'm not gonna put anything for that. So our envelope is stuffed, beautiful. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my pen and I'm going to write the balance here. So let's first start with just updating how much we have. That's where we are with my cash budget system. So that is it for our cash budgeting system. And as I said, I'm going to come back each and every month and just give you a brief on how did it go, how am I sticking to it, am I able to track, am I loving it or not, the things that I would like to improve. I'm going to come back and share that with you guys, because as I said, my channel is for documentation and me sharing my journey, and in me sharing my journey with hopes that is going to inspire you to actually be active when it comes to your finances or with your life, you know, improve things that need to be improved, keep things that are working, but also just so that you can go along on the journey with me. So I'm going to be sharing that with you, but for now we're just gonna go fill up the car, and then I'm going to update here. We also need to buy groceries for the week, and I'm also going to be doing that, and I'm going to be updating here. So I hope that you guys are looking forward to that. I'm actually looking forward to it. I'm hoping that I'm able to actually keep track of everything, and also that I love this. So far, I like it because I like cash. I just like seeing cash. With that being said, I'll see you on the next one. Please take care and stay safe. Bye. Bye.